Thanks, everybody. Welcome to Build. I'm your host, Ricky Camilleri. Our next guest is the incredible, multi-talented Ryan Destiny, who you can currently see on the Fox drama Star. Let's take a look.
Hello, Houston Connolly. My name's Simone Davis. This is Alex Crane, and we're from Take 3.
Alex, a pleasure. Loved your performance at Rhythm and Bells.
Thank you. We're actually here for Take 3, though. We just dropped our Scarlet Impala album,
And when is your solo album drop?
I'm not sure yet, but Take 3's album, between the numbers and the love that the critics have been showing us, Take 3 is perfect for your Billboard ASA issue.
For most people, Take 3 is a lucky girls group that won a local competition. We want to put real artists on the cover.
Real artists?
Not talent show winners, no disrespect.
We get real love from our fans.
They love your stunts, the fighting, the running after your illegal husband, and now this mess with Star. I'm sorry. Take 3 is not right for the issue.
I understand that. You know, we're not perfect. We make mistakes, pick ourselves up, put it in the music. You know, and sometimes it gets into the blogs or whatever. But if you base your decision off of that, then obviously you don't know what it's like to have a real artist in front of your face. And the last thing I want to say is keep my sister's name out your damn mouth, along with my husband, or else there's gonna be a fist in it. Have a wonderful night.
I'm sorry.
Everybody, please welcome Ryan Destiny. Hey,
What's up?
thanks so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
You look amazing. I love this jacket.
Thanks. Thank you so much.
Congrats on 3 seasons of Star.
Yeah.
How's the ride been?
It has been a ride, I'll tell you that. It's been a lot of ups and downs, but overall very worth it.
Every one of you has so much to do in each episode.
Yeah.
What is that like preparing to go into, because it's not like lots of other shows where there's a big arc and, you know, at one point you're going to do something big in the 3rd or 4th episode.
Right.
Every episode, each of you is going to do something
Yes.
wild.
For sure.
Is that exhausting?
It can be, I guess. I think the biggest part about this show that's so different is just the fact that we sing, we dance, and act. So we're sitting here having to do rehearsals and then having to record and then having to film. So it's not just, you know, a one-step process. It's a lot of different things that we have to go through to get the, you know, finished product. So it's a lot, but I wouldn't have it any other way, man.
Well, you were kind of born for this.
I guess.
Right? I mean, your father was an R&B singer, right? He was in a
Yes.
group, and you were kind of from an early age. Did you sing with him? Was he basically like, I know how to do this, and you're going to do this with me?
I don't remember singing with him, but that probably is what happened. But all I remember is he would always sing around me. I'd be like in the studio with him, like at a very young age. So I just feel like the bug bit me naturally, and I don't really recall when, but very young age, like I said.
And when you had your own group before you even got to Star, right?
Yeah.
What was the name of your group?
Dollhouse.
I like it. How old were you?
I was young, obviously, with that name. I started like
35, Dollhouse.
We started the group, we had a lot of name changes, and I think when I started, I was probably like 14. Wow. And then it went all the way until like 19.
Do you think starting at 14 and learning how to dance and sing and perform like that helped you to be able to do all of the work that you do in Star on a daily basis?
For sure. I mean, it was just a lot of grooming that happened that I didn't even realize. It was a lot of growth period as a person, as a performer, as an artist that I had to go through. And I'm still going through it now because being in a group is so different from being a solo artist. And that's what I am now. So it's a transition. And now I'm even in a fake group with the show. So it's
also
just like,
a solo artist as well, or
Yeah.
someone who they want to exploit you as a solo artist at the show.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, it's a really cool thing that having that past definitely helped today.
How did Dollhouse come about? How did getting into a group when you were 14 happen?
It happened just from being friends with people in school. I kind of just, you know, befriended girls naturally, and then they would sing, and then I'd be like, hey, I could sing, and then we just would like harmonize like at recess or something, and then it just kept happening. And then I think around high school, early high school is when we actually like formed and then went on America's Got Talent. And then, yeah, we auditioned for that. We made it to the Vegas round, but then we didn't want to do it because it's a lot of contracts that kind of hold you. So,
Really?
yeah, we said no to that, and then it just kept on going from there, and then we got signed, I think, like my senior year or 11th grade, one of those.
Because when you get to a certain place in America's Got Talent, basically, they say that they're going to hook you up, but those contracts become very binding with
Yes.
America's Got Talent producers.
Yes, for sure. So they kind of keep you for like a while, and we just thought that wasn't the best choice for us at that moment.
And how old were you when you made that choice? It
That
wasn't
was, I believe, 15.
15 years old.
Yeah.
So what was that like at 15 to turn down what looked like the biggest opportunity
Yeah.
and say, no, we're gonna forge this path on our own?
It was hard. I mean, there's so many moments like that for me that I've had where it's just been like one way I thought was the only way, you know, and I've had to either turn it down or it just didn't work out. And I just feel like it's such a needed moment for those like things to happen to you, because it really does do something for you. You learn a lot, and you know that life goes on, and you get the next thing that wasn't meant for you, and that's okay. And the next thing will be even better than you imagined, and will definitely move you in the right direction.
Right? You can say no to this one thing that seems like everything.
Yeah.
But as long as you keep doing your own thing and keep
Yeah.
trying, something else will come up.
Yeah, because who knows if we would have been signed, if we had signed that contract. We were signed to Universal Republic and then Capitol Records after that. So, yeah, like I don't even know if that would have been possible if we said yeah to that.
So what was it like? How did you get on Star? Did you audition? What was the process like for you?
It was a lot. I actually originally auditioned for Empire, and I ended up getting a role on there. And because I was signed to my contract with my group, I couldn't do Empire
Why?
because it was just too many little things that it was just blocking because of the music portion of the show. It
Like
just,
you were signed to one label,
Yeah.
and Empire's music was essentially going to be owned or produced by another label.
Exactly. So it was just bumping too much. And so they had to pass it on and go with someone else. And I just thought it was the end of the world. Like the end of the world, especially when Empire blew up. And there were so many things happening for the people on it. And I was like crying in my bedroom for like a year. And then Star came
What was
around.
every meeting like with your label for that year?
Oh, I was angry. I was so mad. I think I was just mad at everybody. But Star came around because the same casting director from Empire does Star. And
A lot of the same crew entirely, right?
for sure. And we're very cool with her. She's like one of the most important people that's been in my whole career and what it's been. And she went out to eat with us, and she's like telling me this whole plot of this show about these 3 girls that want to make it in the music business. And I'm just like, okay, yeah, that's great. What about Empire? And I just completely tried to not audition for that show. It turned me off for so many different reasons because it was about a girl group, and I just left one. So I was just like, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to go down that road again, even if it is fake. I was like, I know that world. I don't want it, blah, blah, blah. And I ended up still auditioning because she's a great woman. And I was like, I'm going to do this for you, Leah. Her name's Leah Daniels. It's Lee Daniels' sister. Wow. So I went in with no expectation that I was going to get it. I was just like, let me just do this. It's a favor.
Not excited to get it either.
Not excited at all. No, I was so not for it. And then the last time that I went in was actually the test. And that's when I met Brittany and Jude and Amaya. There were other girls there, and they had gone through like 10 different like stages of auditioning. But I think since I still lived in Detroit, which is where I'm from, it was just harder for me. So they had to fly me down to LA, and I knew I had gotten it. And I cried after I walked out of the room because I knew.
Cried because you were happy that you got it, or
No.
cried because you didn't want it?
I didn't want it. I cried. Isn't that crazy? I know. I'm insane. I cried.
At any point, did anyone close to you or within the show sort of look at you and go, who the hell do you think you are?
No, I think, well, I was in the car with my mom when I cried. And I think she just understood where I was coming from because I was just so exhausted from the years that I had put in with the group. And I was like, I don't want to do this again. And it's just going to be the same thing, all the drama and blah, blah, blah. I was so, like, not with it. And it turned out to be obviously, one of the best things that I could have did for my career, so.
Was there a lot of drama in being in a girl group?
There was. It's just, especially when you're young, there's just so many petty things that go on that, you know, now I would never get mad at certain things or communicate in the way that I did. And it wasn't anything like, you know, I wasn't like mean. It was just, you know, me being young and not understanding who your real friends are and not being able to trust everyone and feeling like people are your friends. And so it was just a lot of different things. One of the girls now is still my best friend. So, you know, it's not all bad. I gained a beautiful friendship. So, yeah, it can be a lot. And it's sad because that's why a lot of girl groups aren't still here today. Mm-hmm. So it does suck. And I wish it was different. But, you know, not everything works out, unfortunately.
Have you found that when you get to set on Stars some days and they give you the scripts that you can go, oh yeah, I know this. I lived this. I can do this.
Yeah, there's been times. I mean, the writers would bring me in to just kind of ask, you know, about my experiences with an actual girl group and the different things that I went through, whether it be about colorism, whether it be about, you know, the certain things we would argue about and just the different things that would happen. And they would put that in the show as much as they could, you know? So that was a cool part about it. It got to be a little personal sometimes. And, you know, that makes it real. You can connect to that.
It sounds like you were kind of afraid of it becoming personal, though, when you were signed on to it. But did that then become a good thing? Did it become kind of a release for you to sort of kind of tell your story, but with a bit of a distance?
Yeah, it did. It did. It was, I think things like that are hard to come to terms with in your mind and hard to face. Like you said, I was so scared and probably didn't even realize really why I was even that scared at the time. And then you just kind of realize, wow, this is how that made me feel. And facing those things head on and in that way, an artistic way, is really cool to do. And it helps you heal, I think. So it's really cool playing it and a lot less stressful.
Yeah, you don't even necessarily need to overthink it. You can just sort of exercise it.
Yeah.
Release the demons, as they say.
In a way, yeah, definitely.
What's been your favorite part about being on Star?
Probably, I mean, there's so many things. The people I get to work with, the performances. I love to perform so much. So it's just cool that I get to do these, like, fake performances all the time. Like, and having, like, this crowd that's, like, all for you. It's really cool to do. I think it's been one of my biggest loves for this show is being able to do the three things that I love the most, which is sing, act, dance. And I always say that, like, all the time. And I think that's definitely probably my favorite thing about it. I always thought when I was younger that I would have to choose between those things. I thought I only could act and then nobody could take me serious as a singer. Or I could sing and no one could take me serious as an actress. So it's cool being introduced this way where people know, oh, she can do all of those things. So it's really cool. And I love that part.
If you had to choose, which one would you choose?
I can't.
You can't.
No, I can't. And I don't want to. And I feel like I don't need to anymore. So I'm going to continue doing both as much as I can. Obviously, you can't do them always at the same time. So I'm probably going to take breaks for some things at a time. Then hopefully, you know, a movie or another show down the line will come. But definitely going to always do both.
You know, I'm curious. You're from Detroit, right? And your father was a singer, and you were in a girl group in Detroit. Rhythm and blues, R&B is totally in your family.
Yeah.
But Detroit is kind of the R&B city of America. It's been that
is.
way since the 50s and 60s. Is there still a thriving R&B scene in Detroit that, you know, most people around the country wouldn't see because a lot of groups don't get as famous as they once did?
Yeah, I mean, there's so much talent in Detroit, like so much. I was in a youth theater back in Detroit when I was younger. And there's so much talent that comes out of there, like from theater to, being in a choir and having to do all these different exercises and things with people, and they really groom you. And that's what they did for me. It's called Mosaic Youth Theater of Detroit. And, they take you at such a young age. So it's just really beautiful to see how many people, like, keep going from it. And I'm one of those people, which is really cool. And I love going back to visit and seeing all the kids that are doing it now. And they're so, so talented. So there's so much going on there. And I think everyone's mission when you are from Detroit and trying to be an artist and leaving Detroit or staying there, you're just trying to revive the history from it and from Motown and what that felt like and the realness of it and how raw it was. And it was just great. It was a time. And, it's hard to get those things back, but we definitely try. I think each artist that can really, really sing or rap, whatever it may be, are really good at that.
Yeah, Detroit is a city that people from Detroit have a lot of pride in when they
for
leave.
sure.
Like, I think people from New York don't have that much pride in it anymore when they leave because it's like, I'm from New York. It's like
You don't
wealthy,
think so?
whatever. I don't know.
I meet so many people from New York that are just like die-hard New York, but I don't know. Maybe.
There's just so much more to be. Detroit's an underdog in a lot
Yeah,
of ways. New York is
yeah.
just like not an underdog.
That's true. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yes, everyone that is from Detroit that I know, we're very, very proud to be from it. And it's always like these rivalries with like different cities too. That's just like so stupid. But yeah, we're
But
proud.
you've got the rivalry in you, I bet.
I don't know.
No?
I'm not really. I try not to be competitive. I try. I don't really like. That face. You're trying to get me in trouble. No, I really do try. I don't like doing that.
There's no. I can't imagine you're not competitive just a little bit.
Maybe sometimes
You see
like,
someone doing something and you go, okay, I can do that. I'm gonna try that at least.
Honestly, not like I probably to myself am really trying to be a better me every time. So
You're competitive with yourself.
I am very much so. I'm a perfectionist like crazy. It's really irritating actually. I don't really like it, but it is what it is.
I'm curious, before we go to audience questions, what has been your hardest scene to shoot on Star?
Hardest scene to shoot. There's been so many. Probably like the most emotional ones obviously are pretty tough. I had to do my plane crash scene. And that one was pretty tough just because I had to put myself in that situation and it was pretty sad. And of course I had to think of something very sad to cry to. And that always is very exhausting. So that was probably one of my hardest things to shoot. But it's been so many that it's hard to like pinpoint which one.
We have a question from Twitter. You empower and inspire so many women every day. What inspires you the most?
Oh, that's a great question. Honestly, I feel like it is a lot of people that I meet that...
You're welcome. I inspired you.
Yeah,
Yes.
you inspired me today.
Big time.
Exactly.
Everyone who says that.
Exactly.
Everyone who comes on here. So inspiring.
A lot of people that I meet, especially the women lately, like these past few years, really inspire me and push me because when you meet like incredible people, like I'm sure you know, like you just have this thought that goes in your head like, whoa, like I should probably be like that more, you know? Like people with like real, genuine, good hearts, I love and they inspire me. People that work super hard inspire me. People that are super intelligent inspire me. So yeah, a lot of people that I cross paths with really do inspire me, probably the most.
Questions from the audience. Who do we have right here? Hi.
Hi,
Hey, girl.
Ryan.
Hi.
I know you recently dropped your first single, The Same, and I
Yes.
absolutely love it. I was just wondering, do you have any visuals for the song soon?
I do have a visual that is coming for the song, yes. I do. Yes, it's just, please stay tuned.
I sure will.
Bear with me.
Thank you.
What was it like putting together this single?
It was really cool. It was like a process for me. I've been working on this EP and just my solo career for years, but this song happened pretty fast, which is what was interesting. And it just came from an honest place. Rook Monroe, who's an incredible writer, is working with me on this EP, and it's just a vibe. It's a great vibe with all these songs that I've been recording, and it finally feels like me, which is the best part about it. And I just think it was really fun creating this song, and I'm glad a lot of people connect to it. So,
what about it feels like you?
I think the song feels very grounded. It didn't feel like I was trying to sound like what was happening in music or try to sound like what was on the radio. I was just like, you know what? I love the lyrics to this. I love the melody. I love how it makes me feel. And I don't care if it goes like crazy viral. I don't care if it doesn't do any numbers at all. I just want to put it out because it feels like me, and it felt like something different from the show also. All the music that we do on there is all over the place because we have such an eclectic group of songs on the show. But this really felt like me, and I loved how it just separated me from
Who's your biggest influence?
That's always so hard. I can't pick one person. A few people that I can say is Lauryn Hill, Aaliyah, Brandy. I love entertainers, so Prince, Michael, Freddie Mercury. There's so many people that I could say that I love, so I can never pinpoint.
Next question. Hi.
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 I have a question. So to the young women and men out here who want to pursue careers in the arts, what advice would you give them when they're in the point now where they feel like giving up?
One thing I always say is I know it's hard, but have patience. Like, you have to have patience within this industry because there's so many ups and downs in it. And it is easy to just say, I don't want to do this anymore. I feel like giving up. But you really have to have faith and believe in yourself. And that really helps. But you can't always have that all the time. So you really have to know that things take time, and you can't take every failure or loss as a loss or a failure. You have to look at it like it's a new direction that you're going into, you know? And like I said, with my experience, there's been so many things that has happened where it's either been turned down or they turned me down, and it put me in the place where I needed to be. And that was one of the biggest things I had to learn because you just never know. You never know how your journey is going to actually happen. You never know. So you just got to keep going, push through it, and keep people around you that believe in you and can be, you know, your supportive system. So that's what I have to say.
Did you ever have a moment where you felt like giving up?
Like, all the time. Definitely. I feel like I was way more confident in never giving up when I was younger, but I think it was a little bit of me being naive to what this industry actually is. And, you know, the more and more you go through, the more it just feels like, I feel like I'm beating a wall and nothing is, you know, working. But you definitely have those moments, and that's okay because it's so human, you know? I feel like when people have those moments, they feel like, wow, I'm sure this person that made it never had this moment. Like, that's not the case at all. Like, I feel like every person, the legends, the icons, they have all felt this way too. Like, so you're not crazy, you're not, you know, a loser or less than, you're just human, so it's okay.
One more. Hey.
Hi, Ryan.
Hi.
When we got introduced to Alex, she was almost like put together. She had famous parents. She was an uptown girl. And then last season, well, early on in this season, we see her go through a lot of trauma with the plane crash and then everything with Derek. How did it feel for you giving her more, like, adding vulnerability to her character?
It felt really, really good because she was so hard to get to know the first season. And I know that some things of that, you know, people loved. They loved that about her. She was bougie, this and that, from New York, blah, blah, blah. But it felt really good to just make her more human, make her have feelings, make her walls, be torn down by different people. It was just, it's just having that arc. It's just really fun to act out when you're playing a character. So it was fun.
Ryan, congratulations on Star.
Thank you
so much for
much.
being here. It's on Fox Wednesday nights tonight. And your single people can hear on Spotify, iTunes.
Yeah,
You can check it out.
It's everywhere. Tidal, whatever you want, the same.
Amazing. Ryan Destiny, everybody, let's hear it.
Thank you so much.